Good morning, my dear lovelies. It's Adrena from Adrena Table 916 and Alternative Life Solutions. This story is about how I found out my very first boyfriend was a church boy or a church man, and I was a church girl, and how I found out he really was a gangster. So my mother had me in church dang near 7 days a week. So BTU, Sunday school, regular church service, church over about 1 o'clock, leave church, and then come back for 3 o'clock service. And sometimes 3 o'clock service don't even be at a visiting church. And then 6 p.m. service. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was Bible study, junior mission, unicircle, and other groups. Including the Girl Scouts at the church, Scout meetings, and all of that. On the junior usher board, and then after a certain age, after I think like 12, you go to the youth usher board. I was on the usher board, and the president of the usher board was this man, and he was like super cool. And at that time, let me see, I was probably about, I'm gonna say 15, maybe going on 16 years old. And I was me and my girlfriends, we were into playing games. I'm telling you, 15, 16 years old, play games. I'm talking about prank calls. I have fun in my teens. I'm telling you, I am as a beat. I used to sneak my mother's car when she was asleep. We go to sideshows. Usher board. Dude is president of the usher board. Now, at the time, I would ride with one of my best friends to usher board meeting, and then after our usher board meeting was over, her mother had to stay for her usher board meeting. So the president of the usher board, I'm gonna say at the time, I literally actually thought he was maybe 20, 21, possibly that, but we'll cover that in another story. This is how I found out he was a gangster. So after usher board meeting was over, we had that 1 hour, and we would go talk to him, flirt with him, would ask him like 50 zillion questions, just playful things that teenagers did. And he had a very nice car. It was and I can remember saying, "Oh, I like your chain. Can I have it? Can I wear it?" And he actually let me wear his chain. He disappeared from usher board. Like, he wasn't coming to the meetings anymore. And I thought that was like, wow, I wonder what happened to Mr. President. Let's call him Mr. President. So I think maybe like 3 months had passed by, and I remember it being Easter because I was dressed all in yellow, and I was at Eastmont Mall, and I was walking through the mall, and I just so happened to president was in Radio Shack, and so he flagged me down, and so I go over and I'm like, "Hey, we miss you at church. Like, what's going on? Where you been? I still have your chain." And he told me that he had opened up his own business. He had like a beat shop, and that's where they would do install music and alarm systems in people's cars. And I was like, "Oh, really?" Because my mom needs a new stereo in her car. He put the music in her car, and I noticed that at the beat shop there were a lot of guys hanging out. And so it was pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting because he treated me like a real guest. You know, he treated me like with very high regard, very high respect. My grandparents were respected in the church. My mom, my whole family was very respected in church. So I just kind of felt like he wasn't gonna let anybody disrespect me or talk to me crazy, look at me any kind of way, or try to get at me or anything like that. So I felt very safe. We started talking. I said, like, "When are you going to start coming back to church?" And he said that he was going to come back to church soon. So he did eventually end up coming back to church. There was a bet between me and one of my best friends. Excuse me, I have no makeup on. There was a bet with me and one of my best friends because school was coming up. I think I was entering the 11th grade. School was coming up and I needed like to go school shopping. And she said, I bet you won't ask Becky school shopping. I said, I bet y'all will. So So it was a bet. So I beeped him. This is like before like these little cell phones and stuff. In one of his cars, he had a phone installed. It was a phone installed in his car. This is how long ago this was, y'all. That's why I could tell this story, because it's a long time ago. And it's safe. It's a safe story. So I remember being on the phone with her and I beeped him up. And I just cut to the chase. I was like, yeah, I need some school clothes. And he started laughing. And I was like, well, what's so funny? And he's like, because somebody else just paged me and told me the same thing. And so we both started laughing. And then I stopped laughing. And I was like, so you gonna take me school shopping? And his response was, when do you want to go? And where do you want to go? And so my heart was beating so fast. And so I said, yeah, I'm going to go to Bayfair. I'm going to go to Macy's at Bayfair. He said, okay, meet me there in about an hour. OMG. I was like, okay. So I called my friend back and I was like, you're never going to believe this. I'm taking me shopping. So I caught the BART to Bayfair and met him at Macy's, and he pulls out this big wad of money and told me to get whatever I want. He said, you don't have to spend it all here. And so even though I was super scared and nervous, I just rolled with it, because I just thought this was like straight comedy. Like, this is like, he is really doing this. So I got Guess everything. That's when Guess was like the thing. I had Guess jeans, Guess overalls, Guess sweatshirts, Guess I think I had like some Guess perfume. I just had like Guess everything, like $500 worth of just Guess. After that, he says, oh, are you gonna get home? And I'm gonna take the BART, but I got all this stuff. And so he was like, I'll give you a ride to the BART station, which my mom lived like right down the street from the BART station, the Oakland Coliseum BART station. So he said, but we need to make a stop first. And I was kind of like, oh, stop. Like, you know, where are we stopping at? So anyway, I didn't know he even had his own apartment. So anyway, we stopped by his apartment and he said to me, I don't bring people here to my apartment. You're the only girl that's ever come to my apartment. And I guess I was supposed to be flattered. I still thought the whole thing was funny, because I couldn't even believe he actually said yes to taking school shopping. So we go to his apartment and it was really, really nice. It was a very nice apartment. And the thing that stood out to me, talking about on the coffee table, it was something out of a movie scene. There were guns that I had never seen before, like big guns, long guns, short guns, black guns, silver guns, and there was wads and wads and wads of money, and there were packages, I guess now you call them bricks, of white stuff just all over the table. And I kind of act like I didn't see it, and I really got nervous, because then somebody came over. It was another one of his friends, his guy friends. And so I sat on the couch and just stayed quiet. And I heard them talking and laughing, and his friend said to him, do she have any sisters? She got any cousins? And they kind of laughed it off. I don't know. That was my first eye-opener that, yeah, he's not just the president of the Usher Board. So I have a lot of more stories about that. Anyway, Dirty Weather 916 knows all about this, so that's why it's safe for me to tell these stories, because I have so many of them. So listen, so just stay tuned for more. But that is how I found out My very first boyfriend that I met at church was a gangster.